We on the mission trying to get it in.
There's a natural overlap between body hackers and the blockchain movement. And here at Body Hacks 2019, a 2-day conference in Austin, Texas, I'm planning on joining these couple hundred people who can officially call themselves cyborgs by getting something implanted too. So I've just watched a bunch of videos about getting implants, namely the magnets under the fingers, and they use a scalpel, and there's a lot of blood, so that was a little bit much. For me though, it'll be much less gruesome. I'm just getting an NFC-enabled microchip implant. It's housed in glass, about the size of a grain of rice, and so it fits inside a hollow 14-gauge needle. The needle goes in, the implant gets pumped out, the needle comes back out. It hurts about as much as giving blood or getting a piercing, and it gets injected most often between the thumb and index finger. And it's secured by this blockchain. That's the implanter's joke. Some attendees had programmed their chips to open RFID safes and doors, unlock their phones, and send their contact information to other phones, and some had even hacked their way into creating an authorization for accessing their Bitcoin holdings. That last use case, that's what I'm looking for. So on the last day of the conference, I sat down and a minute later excitedly exclaimed, "I'm a cyborg."
Thank you for your cooperation.
The implant I got, the VivoKey Spark, currently allows users to send an NFC-enabled phone to their profile page or to whatever website they choose. For the test, and to shamelessly promote my content, I set the implant to send a phone to the Bitcoin at 10 website. Oh shit. It did in fact take me to Bitcoin at 10.
Can I try?
Yes. Now we'll try with another person's phone. OMG.
Wow.
Cool, huh? Next, I set it to take my phone to my Receive Bitcoin QR code, making it easy for people out and about to scan that code and tip me some crypto.
$2?
I guess, if that's all you're willing to give me, cheapskate. And in a week or so, VivoKey will be launching a new API that will allow users to program the chip to act as an authenticator key. With this, I should be able to request that every time I want to send or transfer Bitcoin out of an open source wallet, it'll ask me to scan the chip to validate that transaction. And that way, the chip will act as a unique security measure that might make my hand as valuable as Clean Eyes in Minority Report.
All right, Shalawam. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to the Most High Yahawah. He is the Ancient of Days. He exists. Secondly, to his only begotten Son, YAHAWASHI, to whom was given all power, dominion, and an everlasting kingdom. And thirdly, to the Rakakadash, which is the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth. I'd like to give double honors to the elders of GMS who rule well and who taught me this truth. I'd like to say SHALAWAM to you brothers and sisters, or Akim and Akwath, who make up the house of David, right, which is the beloved, the elect, starting with the 144,000 who are diligently pushing this truth, and the rest of the 1/3 remnant who are the believers. I like to say Shalawam. All right. Okay. Well, Salaki, and what we're witnessing in this video, okay, is the mark of the beast. Okay. What we're witnessing in this video is the mark of the beast to be inserted, okay, into one's hand. Okay. And you seen the lady, she mentioned blockchain. Okay, she mentioned blockchain. Okay, and she mentioned the digital currency or the cryptocurrency known as Bitcoin. Okay, she mentioned a digital currency known as Bitcoin. Okay, and today's lesson, okay, we're gonna pretty much go over this beast system. Okay, we're gonna go over this beast system. Okay, which this beast system, okay, it requires the use, okay, of blockchain. Okay, you heard the lady say it, right? And I'm gonna grab a video so we can try to get an understanding of what blockchain actually means. Okay, because that's pretty much, you know, the backbone, okay, and the way these transactions, these digital currency transactions are able to take place. Okay, hopefully we can get understanding, okay, going into this blockchain system. Okay, because once we understand this, right, we see just how, you know, you know, that RFID chip, right, that she had placed in her hand. Okay, just how that technology, right, is the mark of the beast. Okay, I mean, and it's, you know, this is what John the Revelator saw. Okay, because understanding Esau, Edom, right, they're a carnal person. Okay, and they're very big, okay, on transhumanism. Okay, they're very big on merging man with machine, and cyborg, and trying to make your life easier is what they always say. Okay, but we're going to see how this blockchain technology, okay, it pretty much, you know, tracks everything. Okay, transactions that are transactions that are held, okay, by way of blockchain via digital currencies, okay, such as Bitcoin. Okay, all this information is stored, right? And that's what it's stored as, and that's what that's where you get the term the chain. Okay, because these transactions are lumped together and they're chained together, right? But we're gonna go into it, this beast system, and through the spirit of Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. I hope this lesson is edifying. Okay, so let's start off in Revelations 13 and 16, and it reads, "And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." Okay, and let me go ahead and grab the word for he calls it. Okay, he calls it all. Okay, we're going ahead and look it up in the blue letter. Okay, so let's see. He calls it. Okay, and it says
Strong's G 4160 Poeo.
okay, poeo, right? And it says to make. Okay, to make, to cause, to be the authors of the cause, to make ready. Okay, to prepare. Okay, to produce, show forth, right? To acquire. Okay, to render one anything. Okay, to put one forth, to make one do something. Okay, to be the authors of a thing, right? To make one do something. Okay, and what we're gonna find out, okay, is that the way this devil works, okay, is through gradualism. Okay, and this is why that the vaccine, okay, the Maxine, right, is grooming the people up, okay, and desensitizing them, okay, to this chip. Okay, is desensitizing them to the mark of the beast. Okay, because once you understand how this devil works, okay, he works through gradualism. Okay, so you know that's what's taking place. Okay, that's why they're big on, you know, pushing this vaccine so heavy. Okay, because this whole pandemic, right, was used as a Trojan horse, to usher in this beast system. Okay, and this beast system, okay, is that ultimate digital push, okay, to rid of all fiat currencies, okay, and to have a universal basic currency. Okay, a universal basic currency. Okay, it's going to be a digital currencies, right? And what we're going to find out, okay, is that by the use of digital currencies, right, and blockchain, okay, one does not need a bank. Okay, one does not need a bank. Okay, and everything is decentralized. Okay, so there'd be no more need for to convert. You know, if say you had US dollars, okay, it would be no need to convert your US dollars, okay, into pesos, right? Because everybody, all right, and globally everywhere you would go, right, will be operating off of this blockchain beast system. Okay, everything will have this beast system, okay, in place, right? So there will be no more need for fiat currencies, okay, because everything will be it will be a universal, okay, digital standard, okay, or digital currencies that will be the way we will complete transactions. Okay, and that's what they want, right? And we're going to see how this information is stored. Okay, this information is stored, right? And you have to wonder, okay, who's able to see this information, right? As far as, you know, the elites go, okay, because they when you read about it, which I'm grabbing some articles, right, understanding these devils are saying this is way more secure, it's way more secure than going to a bank, okay? Because they're saying banks have potential hackers and all these various things, okay? But they're saying this is way more secure because what we're going to see in these different blocks, okay, and the way these blockchains work, okay, a lot of different computers verify the transaction, okay? Before a transaction can take place, the transactions are verified, okay? And we're going to get into all those things, right? But first, I want to play another video, okay? Going into Sweden, okay? Because Sweden, right, they're pretty much at the point where nothing, okay, is bought with fiat currency anymore, okay? They're pretty much the sheep, if you will, that have pretty much gone ahead and started, okay, using this system, right? And we're going to see in this video where the guy pretty much says they don't use fiat currencies anymore, okay? They pretty much done away with paper currency, okay? And this is what scriptures say, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, okay? We'll go back to the scripture, right? He calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, okay? Because just like with this vaccine, okay, we can see how it started off, right? And we can see how starting at the beginning of this pandemic, okay, the vaccine talk, right, was pretty light, okay? The talk was light, and you had a lot of people saying, I'm not getting it, this, that, there, and the third, okay? Now it's to the point where the Biden administration is literally, okay, gonna send National Guard troops, and they've already done it to various states like Missouri and I believe California, okay, are getting some troops. I believe Chicago, okay, are getting troops for the sole purpose of distributing this vaccine, okay, on a wide scale level, okay, for mass vaccinations, okay, because what's happening, right? They're saying if we want to get back to normal, right? If you want your livelihoods back, if you want to return to how society was, you're going to have to take the vaccine, okay? And not only that, we're seeing how healthcare workers, the elderly, and most of all, they're painting us, okay, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay, as the main ones who need to take the vaccine, okay. And so we've seen how it went from, the talk was light, right? The talk was light at first, right, about the vaccine, and there was a lot of people saying they weren't going to get it. But now it's getting to the point wherein they're threatening, okay, to take your job from you, okay? These jobs are pretty much, they're going to have it to where if you don't have the vaccine, if you can't show proof, right, you're going to get terminated, okay? You're going to get terminated, right? So that's the same way, right, gradually, how this RFID chip, okay, the mark of the beast, and this whole beast system, right, is going to work, right? That's why scripture says that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark, okay? Because going into when this pandemic first started, okay, people didn't think that their jobs and their houses and cars and livelihoods were going to be placed on the line, okay? So yeah, it was easy to say you're not going to take the vaccine when you weren't threatened with your job, okay? I mean, you weren't threatened with the ability to feed your family, okay? But when it gets to the crunch time, okay, and it's either you take this vaccine, okay, or you lose your job and you lose your house and you can't feed your family, what are people going to do? Okay, they're going to line up to take this mark of the beast like John the Revelator saw, okay? Because the mark of the beast, okay, is that RFID chip technology, right? And that's the one in the hand, okay, and the one in the forehead, okay, goes into that Neuralink technology that Elon Musk has, okay, because these things are here, right? And the original title of this video is going to be "The Digital Push is Happening," okay, because it is, right? That was the whole use of this pandemic, was to usher in this digital currency blockchain system. Okay, this is why they're actively crashing the dollar. Okay, and this is the reason why, you know, the economy is set to crash, right? Because in order for them to bring about this new system, okay, order out of chaos, what has to happen, right? The old system has to be done away with. Okay, the old system has to be done away with, right? But in this video, okay, we're going to see just how Sweden, right, they're already implementing this market of the beast system. Okay, and you have other countries like China, okay, and other European countries, okay, who have also started their own Bitcoin. I mean, Slovakia, not Bitcoin, but their own digital currencies as well. Okay, because this is going to be a global, universal thing, right? So let's jump into this video.
When Elias Brotberger goes to work, he doesn't need ID. And he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
Like to touch it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's like a grain of rice.
Yeah, a grain of rice.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all in chips. So I use it like to get around the building.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's buy some snacks.
Exactly.
So I can't open it.
No.
Okay.
So what I need to do is I need to first blip my chip and it will log me in. And from there I get access to the fridge.
Popular TV shows like Black Mirror have imagined chips as part of a dystopian future.
Install ingrained procedure with local anesthetic and you're good to go.
In Sweden, the microchips are already here.
The microchip implants use the same technology that's in contactless credit cards,
which have made cash pretty much obsolete in Sweden.
No cash.
Okay, you seen them, they said it. Okay, it made cash pretty much obsolete in Sweden. Okay, and the guy said no cash, right? And that's why Scripture tells us, okay, that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Okay, and this is what John the Revelator saw. Okay, he saw people receiving this chip, okay, and making transactions with this chip. Okay, because if you don't have the chip, you're not going to be able to buy and sell with fiat currencies. Okay, that's what we have to understand, right? You're not going to be able to have, you know, $20 and try to go buy something from the store, right? If the system is in place to where everything's on this digital currency blockchain system, guess what? You can't buy and sell unless you have the mark, unless you have that chip. Okay, so take this for example, right? If this let me see, if this lady, or Slocky, if the lady in this video, okay, who right here, if she didn't have a chip, okay, what did he tell her? No cash. Okay, so she can't buy or sell if she didn't have that chip, right? And this is what John the Revelator saw. Okay, and that's why Scripture says, let me grab it. Bear with me 1 second. Ecclesiastes 39:24. As his ways are plain unto the holy, okay, the elect, so are they stumbling blocks unto the wicked, okay? Because the Most High gave us the blueprint, right? That's why Scripture says he reveals his secrets, okay, unto his servants, the prophets, right? We're not going to be guessing, okay, what the mark of the beast is, okay, what the beast system is, okay? The Most High has revealed these things unto us, right? So that we can know what it is, right? If we didn't know what it was, how would we know to avoid it? Okay, understanding that we've been sealed with this truth, so we have the victory over this mark, anyways. Okay, but he's given us the tools we need, okay, to understand what this mark of the beast is, okay, and what this beast system entails. Okay, so let's continue the video.
No cash.
At this tech fair, a chipping event for those on the cutting edge, merging their hands with this new technology.
I thought it would be fun, right?
The process is simple and swift. A pinch of the skin, and in a matter of seconds, the chip is inserted. The transformation is complete. As for the pain,
I barely felt it.
but even in this nation of early adopters, not everyone is racing to get chipped.
Feel less human. I will feel like a robot.
I think, it's so much more data can go into this, when it's in your body.
Right. and yeah, you see these people pretty much against it now. It's like I was saying earlier, okay? You're gonna have a lot of people who are gonna oppose it in the beginning, but guess what? Okay, once it's to the point where it's like in Sweden, okay, and you're not able to make cash payments, guess what? They're gonna take the chip, okay? Because these people, what they don't have that we have is faith, right? We have these scriptures and we have faith, knowing, you know, the outcome, right? We have this truth, okay? And this is what no one else has, right? So we have a reason not to take it, okay? These people don't, right? They want to go back to their yachts and their fancy cars and doing the things that they love to do, okay? So and you got some people, a lot of people in the comments who even understand that the Bible speaks about these things, okay? And they understand it to be the mark of the beast, right? But does that mean they're not going to take it? Okay, that's what you have to ask yourself. No, okay, because once crunch time hits, okay, we're going to see, this is what John the Revelator saw. You're going to see, you know, millions of people taking his chip, right? Just like there's millions of people taking his vaccine now, okay? Just like when there were a lot who said they weren't going to do it, you have a lot of people who are taking it, okay? It's going to be more and more to the point where if you don't have it, start speaking on this vaccine, okay, leading up to this chip, guess what? You're going to lose your job, okay? This is why the Most High told us to be his pilgrims, because they're going to start taking things away from you if you don't accept their system, right? So they're going to, either they can force you directly or they're going to indirectly force you.
There's no central registry tracking how many people are chipped, but biohacker Hannes Wellblood estimates between 5 and 10,000.
In the future, do you think everyone is going to be chipped?
I think it will be voluntary, but I am certainly convinced that millions of people will find it very, very valuable to have a smart device under their skin.
Human microchipping may be our future, but in Sweden, it's already reality. Sarah Harmon, NBC News, Stockholm.
All right, it's already reality, okay? And this was posted a year ago, okay? So it's not a matter of if, you know, it's just a matter of when with these things, okay? And the fact that, you know, the American economy is continuing to sink, okay, and we have all these things taking place, right? Rest assured that the ushering in of this digital beast system, okay, is right around the corner, okay? It's right, it's in our line of sight, okay? So leaving off from that, okay, let's go ahead and jump into this blockchain, what blockchain is, okay? Because in the first video, okay, the lady mentioned it, right, but didn't really go into it, okay? Because blockchain, right, is pretty much the way wherein these digital currencies, okay, are able to operate, okay? So let's read a little about what it is, and then I have a video, okay, so we can further clarify what the correlation between blockchain, a digital currency, and the chip you've seen that these people had, okay, who were paying with Bitcoin and things like that, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into it. And it says, I'm gonna go and get to the point of what it is. So, okay. And it says, a blockchain is, in the simplest of terms, a time-stamped series of immutable records of data that is managed by a cluster of computers not owned by a single entity. Okay, and that's why they say that it's going to be decentralized. Okay, because it's not going to be a central thing. It's not going to be held by central banks. Okay, it's going to be completely decentralized, right? And we're gonna go into it. And it says each of these blocks of data, okay, is secured and bound to each other using cryptographic principles. Okay, that makes up the chain. So what is so special about it, and why are we saying that it has industry disrupting capabilities? And it says the blockchain network has no central authority. Okay, it is the very definition of a democratized system. Since it is shared and immutable ledger, the information in it is open for anyone and everyone to see. Hence, anything that is built on a blockchain is by its very nature transparent, and everyone involved is accountable for their actions. Okay, What we're going to see in a video, okay, he's going to go into that a little more, okay, going into how each block, okay, represents data. Okay, it's going to say person A has 5 Bitcoins, person B has 6, person or whatever, okay, to all parties involved, right? That will make up the block, okay? And the way that it's the cryptographic principles, as it says, okay, are bound to each other by way of the chain, okay? That makes up the chain. So we're going to go over it in a video, okay? So let's go ahead and continue. And it says okay, we get to the point. The blockchain is a simple yet ingenious way of passing information from A to B in a fully automated and safe manner. Okay, one party to a transaction initiates the process by creating a block. Okay, so say person A wanted to send person B 5 Bitcoins. Okay, that will be the start of the block. This block is verified by thousands, perhaps millions of computers distributed around the net. Okay, and that's what makes it decentralized. The verified block is added to a chain, which is stored across the net, creating not just a unique record, but a unique record with a unique history. Okay, falsifying a single record would mean falsifying the entire chain in millions of instances. That is virtually impossible. Okay, let's see, it goes into it more. Okay, and that's pretty much what I'm graphing there. But pretty much the block, okay, contains the data that one is trying to send. So if I'm trying to send person B 5 Bitcoins, okay, that's the first block, okay, and the chains are formed, okay, once that data is pretty much sent to the other parties in the group, okay. So that data, okay, contains what's the word they used? Bear with me 1 second. I think it's say cryptographic. Cryptographic principles. Okay, so that data, the data is contained and saved on those blocks, right? So let's go ahead and look at this visual real quick. Okay, and it says step 1, right? Person A wants to send money to person B. Okay, step 2. The transaction is represented online as a block. Okay, so that's the data, the block. Step 3, the block is broadcast to every party in the network. Okay, and that's the decentralized part. Step 4, those in the network approve the transaction is valid. Okay, because everyone's going to be able to see everyone else's information in the party. Okay, so if I'm trying to send 5 Bitcoins, okay, to person B, everybody in the party can see if I have 5 Bitcoins, because the information's going to be transparent. So if I have 3 Bitcoins and I'm trying to send 5, okay, it's not going to work. Everyone's going to the transaction is going to be invalid. Okay, because the others in the party are going to see that I don't have what I'm trying to give. Okay, step 5. The block then can be added to the chain, which provides an indelible and transparent record of transactions. Okay, that's what makes it transparent and decentralized, because all parties in a group, okay, can see everyone else's block, okay, or they can see the data. So if I'm trying to send what I don't have, they can see that, and they're going to mark it as invalid. So the payment or the transaction is not going to occur. Okay, or if I did have the amount that I was trying to send, it will be approved, okay, and it will be marked valid, and the transaction would occur. Because we have to understand that this is not backed by fiat currencies or anything. Okay, this is all online digital currency. Okay, it's all cryptocurrencies. Okay, and then it says step 6, the money moves from A to B. Okay, so after it's approved, right, by every party in the network, okay, once it's verified, then the transaction occurs. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and go. Let's go in and look a little further into it. Okay, I wanted to grab the definition of blockchain real quick. And it says blockchain is a system of recording information in a way that makes it difficult or impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. A blockchain is essentially a digital ledger of transaction that is duplicated and distributed across the entire network of computer systems on the blockchain. Okay, so it's a digital ledger of transactions that is duplicated and distributed across the entire network. So everyone sees, okay, everyone in the party sees, okay, whatever transaction is to take place. Okay, it's completely transparent. Okay, and each block, if everyone has the same data, okay, if everyone's able to see the same data, that's what makes it duplicated. Okay, because each block is everyone sees the same block, so everyone has that block of data. Okay, so if I'm trying to send money to person B, right, everyone else in the party can see all of our information. Okay, so if they see that I don't have the money I'm trying to send, then they're going to deem it invalid. Okay, yeah, that's why they try to say it's impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. Okay, because it's pretty much like a open. It's very open, I guess. You know, looking into it. All right, but continuing on. Okay, I want to go ahead and play this video so we can, you know, get a better understanding of it.
Blockchain that ensures. Ever wonder if there's an easier way to complete transactions without having to deal with online wallets, banks, and third-party applications? Well, it's possible thanks to blockchain. Here's everything you need to know about blockchain. Imagine 4 friends, Jack, Ted, Sam, and Phil meet up for dinner. After they're done, Jack pays the bill, and all of them decide to split the expense amongst each other. Now, on the next day, when Phil sends his share to Jack via online money transfer, the transaction goes through without a hitch. Then, Ted and Sam send their respective shares to Jack, but their transactions don't go through. The failed transaction cites some issues at the bank. That's when Jack comes to know about the many ways a bank transaction could fail. It could be due to technical issues at the bank, one of their accounts were hacked, daily transfer limits being exceeded, and sometimes additional charges, like transfer charges, associated with transferring money. To solve these problems, the concept of cryptocurrency came into existence. Cryptocurrencies are a form of digital or virtual currency that run on a technology known as blockchain. Thanks to blockchain, cryptocurrencies are immune to counterfeiting, don't require a central authority, and are protected by strong and complex encryption algorithms. And in a market of more than thousands of cryptocurrencies like Litecoin, Ethereum, Zcash, and so on, one reigns supreme: Bitcoin. Now, let's go back to our previous example and have Phil, Ted, and Sam send Jack 2 Bitcoins each as their contribution to the previous night's dinner. Let's assume Phil, Ted, and Sam have 3 Bitcoins in reserve, while Jack has 5. First, Phil sends 2 Bitcoins to Jack. A record is created in the form of a block. The transaction details between them is permanently inscribed in this block. This record also holds the number of Bitcoins each of the friends own. So, after Phil's transaction, Jack has 7 Bitcoins, while Phil has 1. Following this, Sam and Ted send 2 Bitcoins to Jack. A new block is created for each of these transactions. These blocks hold the transaction details as well as how many Bitcoins Sam, Ted, and Jack have in reserve. These blocks are linked to each other, as each of them takes reference from the previous one for the number of Bitcoins each friend owns. This chain of records, or blocks, is called a ledger, and this ledger is shared among all the friends, which acts as a public distributed ledger. This forms the basis of blockchain. So, what happens when Phil has only 1 Bitcoin left, and he tries to send 2 more Bitcoins to Jack? The transaction will not go through. This is because all his friends have copies of the ledger, and it's clear that Phil has only 1 Bitcoin left. His friends will flag this transaction as invalid. A hacker will not be able to alter the data in the blockchain because each user has a copy of the ledger. The data within the blocks are encrypted by complex algorithms. All of this is made possible with the help of blockchain technology. Blockchain can be described as a collection of records linked with each other, strongly resistant to alteration, and protected using cryptography. Now, let's have a closer look at the Bitcoin transaction between Jack and Phil and find out how it works. Every user in the Bitcoin network has two keys, a public key and a private key. The public key is an address that everyone in the network knows of, like an email address of a user. The private key is a unique address that only the user has knowledge of, something like a password. First, Phil passes the number of Bitcoins he wants to send to Jack, along with his and Jack's unique wallet address through a hashing algorithm. All of this is part of the transaction details. These details are encrypted using encryption algorithms and using Phil's unique private key. This is done to digitally sign the transaction and to indicate that the transactions came from Phil. This output is now transmitted across the world using Jack's public key. With this, the message or transaction can be decrypted only by Jack's private key, which only Jack has knowledge of. Different cryptocurrencies use different hashing algorithms. While Bitcoin uses the SHA-256 algorithm, Ethereum, which is also a famous cryptocurrency.
Okay, and that's pretty much the point. We're pretty much summing up the whole blockchain deal. All right, but hopefully now we kind of get a little better understanding of how the digital currencies work on the blockchain system. Okay, and how this universal digital system, this universal digital currency, okay, is going to be implemented. Okay, because we see how pretty much how easy it is. Okay, how easy it is to do away with fiat currency. Okay, there's too many complications with it. Like they was going into the banks, you have hackers and the fees and all of those things. Okay, you don't have to worry about that with this system. Okay, and this is how they're going to sell this shit. Okay, just like how you have Elon Musk, okay, trying to sell Neuralink by saying it's going to heal the paralyzed. Okay.
In the future, do you think everyone is going to be chipped?
I think it'll be voluntary, but I am certainly convinced that millions of people will find it very, very valuable to have a smart device under their skin.